Welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Random Neighborhood Kid.
And it's the Hump Day Happy Hour. And before we got started, what do we have? Shots of Bosco, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what Bosco is?
No.
It's something old timers like. It's basically it's a chocolate syrup. Well, we're out of grape knee-high. Do you know what that is?
No.
You got to watch MASH once in a while. It's a Radar O'Reilly used to have all the time. I actually stepped in Ochtenstein, which I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it or not, but it's some pretty good scotch. Nothing wrong with that. And he's got water, so that's good. He's on a straight and narrow. So when you get done watching us, head on over to the good friend of the channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter. He's got one of the thrift battles. We were on that one, not you, but Mr. Magazine and I were on there one point over there. He's got Bolo Buddies versus Vintage Flipper. So it should be a really, really good show. Unfortunately, Mr. Magazine cannot be here tonight. He's got some things going on with the family. Nothing bad whatsoever. Going out of town with the family for the weekend. So we've got Random Neighborhood Kid here. We've got kind of a pretty exciting show, I think. We're going to be putting him on the spot and as the voice for all of Generation Z. Or Centennials, or whatever it is you want to call the newest generation. And he's going to talk about online selling, eBay versus Amazon, his views, and all that sort of thing. And he didn't know any of this, which always makes it a lot of fun. Why don't you...
Yep. So we have Dawn in the house, Lori in the house, and Big Troll in the house.
Let's hear the good news. Well, the good news is we're all here. More good news. I did go to the doctor yesterday on my physical. And I don't know if you remember the last few weeks, I've been complaining about my knee. There is a little bit of fluid on there. It's just a strain injury, and I just need to take it a little easy. So luckily, if I get any big buys, I have to basically not carry it too much myself. I have to find some dumb labor to help me carry it.
No one wants to hear about your knee fluid. Gross. Jem is in the house.
Hey, Jem. Glad you could make it over here. Last week's show was a fun show. It was a pretty bad beat as far as the cards go. And I paid a lot of money for one common card. I'll say that. But it was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen last week's live show, definitely do check it out. It was fun. And one of the things that makes the show a lot of fun is that Mr. Magazine had no idea at all that I was going to buy or offer to buy in on it. And his reaction was 100% genuine when he said, "I'm not doing that." So that was actually a lot of fun. Couple more people have shown up here.
We have Anthony here. He wishes you best luck with your knee.
Oh, thank you.
Mayman and Joe.
Hey, Joe Losi. He's a local guy. I've been buying off of Joe for, got to go back 20 years now. I've been buying off of him. I know Mr. Magazine wants you to head on in, Joe. I think he's got something or other he wanted to buy from you. I don't know. So glad y'all can make it over here. And did want to do real quick the shameless plug for the affiliate links. Real easy. All you do is all of our videos in our little write-up. We've got various products that I'm going to say we endorse. We don't exactly endorse, but we think they're really good products. Some of them are on Amazon. Some of them are on eBay. All you do is click on the link. You don't need to buy what we're peddling. Just access the site via that. And any purchases you make off of that link, we end up getting a little bit of credit back on. So it definitely helps the channel out and doesn't cost you anything, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a win-win, as we like to say in the business.
Yep. We have Linda. She scored a huge lot of vintage Star Wars figures today.
I'm jealous. Tell us a little bit more about that. Where you got them from and all that, Facebook Marketplace, or did you pick it up at an auction? You interested in hearing that? Hey, Paul. How you doing? I know Mr. Magazine was saying that his sales have slowed down some. One of the big reasons is the adult stuff is being taken off week by week or day by day, actually, off of eBay. So he has fewer and fewer adult on there. So that's hurting him a little bit as far as that goes. I know that my sales today on eBay are absolutely atrocious, and I think I'm telling us this same thing every single Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday, for some reason, seem to be really, really slow days, but the rest of the week isn't too bad. So no idea at all why. Just Wednesdays and Thursdays are terrible. This week is going to be an interesting week with the holiday. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there. You got any plans?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You're going to the 4th of July festival with your family.
Am I?
How do I
Am
know?
I?
Yes, you are. How do I know your plans before you know
I don't
that?
really want to, but Linda got her figures from a estate sale.
Nice. Yep. Estate sales are a great place to pick things up for certain.
We have Sensible Treasures.
Hey, how you doing, Sensible Treasures? Good to see you here. Glad you could make it. As far as buys go for the last week, one quick thing. You may remember back a few weeks ago, I had commented that I was turned down by Amazon merch or merch by Amazon or whatever that is. And I was looking into how to appeal and all that kind of thing. And I never actually did anything with that. And all of a sudden, about 3 or 4 days ago, I get an email that says, congratulations, you've been accepted. So I'd like to say it's the power of the show. I have no idea whatsoever, but we'll say it's the power of the show. So you've actually helped me a little bit on the merch by Amazon ideas that we've had. Why don't you explain what the process is?
Well, basically, we get a thing that's trending, and then we try to make a design of it to put on like a T-shirt, or I don't even know. We put T-shirts, hoodies. Is there mugs? I'm not.
Yeah, there's T-shirts would be basically what we're going. Some of it's trending, and some of it, as you roll your eyes with some of the ideas that I come up with. I come up with an idea generally, or we talk through an idea, and then I bring it over to you, and you use some sort of a software program, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you take my idea, and then you apply graphics to it. And
I try to make a good looking design that people want to wear.
Okay, very good. So we've got what, 4 or 5 of them, I think, in the hopper right now.
Yeah.
And from my understanding of the merch by Amazon, you're allowed to put 10 items up when you start. So we're going to go through them again, and we're going to get those up. So no idea how we got accepted to it after I wasn't accepted, but they got us accepted, and hopefully we'll be getting some T-shirts sold at some point.
We have main best sale day are Saturday afternoons, evening, and Sunday afternoons. More free time for people.
Yeah, I've actually, and that actually brings up the subtopic. Hopefully you can stick around for it, where I talk about tracking your sales. I've actually got sales tracking back to 2003. I have daily sales, and I do look at those numbers regularly. So probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. I'll touch on that a little bit and tell you what I've seen as far as historically when is the best times. So I do agree that Saturdays and Sundays are pretty good times in general. No doubt at all about that. But Wednesdays and Thursdays so far this year are just not good, or at least the last month or so are not good at all.
Anthony says that CZUR looks exactly what I need for my archiving.
Oh yeah, they're it's a wonderful unit. I believe there are 3 or 4 different level models. Why don't you tell a quick story, because you helped set up the CZUR over at Mr. Magazine's at the men's cave he's got over there, and you helped set it up over here.
Yeah.
And this is kind of interesting. Do you recall the situation? Not really situation, but the situation we had as far as installing it?
Like we had to match the model number on the software program.
Well, yeah, you had to do that in order for it to accept it, that it was a legitimate one. But what did I want to do? I was old school. I'm not a boomer, but I was boomer mentality. It came with the disc to load it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm handing you the disc, going, here, you got to load this. And what did you say and do?
You could just find it online, the software for it.
So here I am with the disc saying, well, you got to use the disc. And he's like, no, you don't. And 5 minutes later, he had it loaded, just going online. And of course, what's the advantage of loading it online?
It's faster, probably. I don't know. My computer doesn't even have a disc reader, so I don't think that would work.
Probably not. No. The advantage of loading it online is you get the latest drivers, whereas what you have in the box may not be the latest driver. So a little trick that I learned over there from Random Neighborhood Kid is you just go online, try to find the drivers, and it saves you time. Because I'm old school back in the days, and you had to put the printers on, and you couldn't have the printer cable hooked up while you were doing the printer, et cetera, et cetera. Things have changed a lot since then. Those were not fun days back then.
Thomas says his best sale day is on a Monday after a Monday holiday.
Okay, that's interesting to me, because I've always found holidays to be incredibly disappointing. And I think the reason why for me is because I've got the day off. And so I'm sitting there, and take a regular Monday or regular Tuesday when I have to work. I'm at the day job. I get home, a bunch of stuff sold. I say, oh, wow, 8 items sold or 6 items or how many ever items sold. I got to find these. And I just feel like it was a successful day because I kind of batch out everything. Whereas if I have the day off and I'm sitting there, and even if one item sells an hour, so I end up selling more items, it seems like less because I'm not batching. It's like, geez, I've been listening for the last hour and I haven't sold anything. Oh, wow, I sold one item. It was a $12 item. Geez. So even though I may end up selling more on a holiday, it actually seems like less. So that's one of those things where I'm glad that I have the numbers, because sometimes what you feel is happening isn't truly what's happening. And that's why you always want the numbers to back it up. Definitely.
Don's laptop does not have a disc reader either.
Oh, you crazy, crazy new generations. I've still got the old floppy disk reader. That costs a lot of money nowadays to get one of those installed.
Yeah.
You try to get one of those installed from the factory. You got to send one in for them. Oh, big news. I forgot to announce last week. I actually sold our first Etsy item. And you can attest to this. What did I make you do after I sold it?
High five.
High five, because when you get the email from them, it said, have everyone around you give you a high five because you sold your first item. So right now I'm still behind financially on Etsy, but I did sell an item, so I take that as a good sign. The Vivs-Views, which now you may notice that there is a link to that and the $1 Million Peddlers in our little write-up over there, selling about 2 postcards a week. So that's kind of fun to watch that grow. Nothing going on Hip Postcard, though, unfortunately. $1 Million Peddlers is selling a comic book or 2 and moving a couple of things over on Hip. So can't argue with any of that. It's just kind of fun to watch all of these little things growing. Some other big news, I actually went this past week and got some business insurance. A little pricier than it was when I had it quoted about 10 years ago, I believe it was. I had it quoted. So I actually went without insurance for all these years. And then I finally said, you know something, it's time to step up to the plate. It's time to get the insurance. Like I said, a little pricier, but I'm also, getting better coverage than I would have gotten back then. So pretty happy to have that as well. Better safe than sorry on that. And I never felt that I was in a position to do that previously. So
yep. Don said, congrats on the Etsy sale. It does take a while to get traction on there.
Yeah. And and the funny thing is that the item that sold was actually a very nice graphic item, but it was incomplete. But I did stress the graphic side of it, and that was what ended up selling. And it actually sold to somebody in Canada. It was from Canada, Canadian National Railways, as a matter of fact. And it was an interesting item, very, very pretty item, but it was incomplete. Noted that and everything. So the person probably was buying it for some kind of a scrapbooking or something. It was perfect item for that, though, because it was a absolutely gorgeous item.
Yep. Amazon Seller 99 said disc players are good if you have a DVD or Blu-ray collection. Also for some older hardware drivers that are discontinued, but otherwise not much use for them anymore.
I know. Well, I go back to the days, and I tell Random Neighborhood Kid this all the time. My father actually got a TRS 80, and he paid to get the upgrade because the base model, as I recall, had 2K. Can't do a lot with 2K, so he did the upgrade to get 100K. That's right, 100K. And it used to you used to have to run any programs on a cassette tape. So that's pretty old school as far as things go. That's what I started off on, and I learned basic programming and all that off of that. A lot of fun with that. Did pick up a couple of things during the week. Went over to a local auction house. They had an online only auction. And I didn't even preview it, even though it's only a mile away from my house. I did not drive over to preview. I just could tell in the pictures what I wanted. I kind of threw bids on a lot of the paper stuff just to kind of throw bids on them. And I ended up winning one thing that I really didn't particularly want. I ended up winning 5 boxes of sheet music and songbooks for $10 total. But at $2 a box, I can't help but make money. And that was actually the opening bid was the $10. So I was the only person that wanted it. And won a few other things over there. So all in all, pretty happy about that. But one troubling thing was I did speak with the owner of the auction house, and I said, things are opening back up. Are you going to be having live auctions anytime soon? And he said he really wasn't sure because it took a lot of time And it was a lot more difficult to run a live auction than an online auction. And he said at his live auctions, he can move a couple of hundred items, whereas online, he can put up 600 items. And he ends up making a little more money on the online auctions. And he understands that at the live auctions, people will bid on things that they otherwise wouldn't bid on, which I've always done. Sat there and, hey, that's going way too cheap. And you end up buying stuff that you don't necessarily want. And he said he understands he's losing some of that. But the problem is a couple of 100-item auction, you start losing people halfway through the auction, and the stuff at the end goes cheap as well. So he said he's not really sure if he's going to go back to live auctions or not. And that's one of those things that I hope that's not the trend, because I really do enjoy sitting at a live auction. You can get some really good buys. There's a lot of strategy involved versus online auctions. So something that a lot of people need to watch as things open back up is whether their auction houses are going to actually have live auctions, or they're just going to stick to online, or if they're going to do some kind of a hybrid version. So not really sure what's going to be happening on that, but that's a trend that I noticed locally at least.
Yep. Anthony asked, did you have to have your items appraised for business insurance?
No, actually what I ended up doing was I was able to send them the link to my eBay items along with a screenshot of my dashboard that showed the listed value of items. I was able to send them the screenshot of my Amazon listing, the number of items I had live in inventory on Amazon. And we were able to figure out a price per on that. And then they took my word on the rest of the stuff, the unlisted stuff, and kind of rounded it to a number and all that sort of thing. But I had enough backup on it that they were willing to take it. That being said, the insurance agent did say that he made a number of calls, and there were a fair number of companies that just didn't even want to touch it. But there are a couple companies out there that specialize in it, so he was able to place me with one of them. But that's how that ended up working out. So, and after talking with the insurance company and talking with my agent, a loss will be easy to claim, because my situation is I don't have anybody buy. I don't really have anything particularly high valued as far as that goes. So any loss that I'm going to have is going to be a catastrophic loss, as opposed to, somebody walks off, somebody did come by and walks off with a $40 book. Well, A, you wouldn't claim that on insurance, and B, I probably wouldn't even know. It would be more heavy water damage, fire damage, that sort of thing. So it would be a large loss, and that I could prove, because if they came by and they saw the smoldering remains, and they could go on to eBay and say, oh, this is what he had listed. Yeah, here's what the dollar value of it is. So the agent ran that all by, and the insurance company's fine with that, and that's how they would end up doing it. So,
yep. Amen to Jesus Reseller says, I'd imagine your efforts have put it on Gen Z's radar.
I would hope so. At least somebody in Gen Z hopefully is aware of what's going on out there. Couple of other things that did go to the flea market with Random Neighborhood Kid, and as I told him, you always want to build relationships with people at the flea market. And one of the main reasons why is there is somebody that always sets up over in a corner at the local flea market. And they've always got some really interesting paper. In fact, if you do follow our Instagram, I did put up an Instagram of a really neat flyer advertising candy sales from Geneseo Candy Kitchen. I actually bought that from that person at the flea market. And so I went over and I found an item that was a pretty good item. And I walked up to ask them how much it was. And they were talking to another person, and they said, oh, it's him. He buys from us every week. Just give me $1. So as I was telling a Random Neighborhood Kid, I ended up getting a really good deal on that item because they recognized me and knew that I bought from them all the time. So now in the next few weeks when I'm going there, if they're set up, I'll buy something, even if it isn't something that I want to buy, just because I'm on their radar as a regular frequent buyer, and they will give me deals because I'm a regular frequent buyer. So that's always something good to do there.
Yep. Amen. And Jesus Reseller says, as far as online auctions go, it is unlikely they will revert. Same thing has happened in the storage auctions. A lot of them have moved strictly to online due to overhead and overall profitability. Yeah, that's unfortunately the way I think it's going to end up going.
one of the problems I see with that, at least the auction that I ended up buying the sheet music and a couple of other things at, isn't a problem because it's literally a mile away from my house. I could preview every day of the week if I wanted to do so. I'm thinking of another auction that I used to go to regularly that was a large paper auction. That was a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. The thought of me driving down today, 2.5 to 3 hours to preview everything, coming back home, putting bids on the things, and then after I win it, driving 2.5 to 3 hours down and back. So it's a 5 to 6 hour round trip to pick up my winnings. That kind of would dissuade me in some ways. It probably would cause me to bid on fewer items because I would be thinking, well, can they ship it out to me? I drove there. Can they ship it out to me? Although I guess the alternative would be if I know I'm driving down anyway, maybe I would end up bidding on more items. So there's always that possibility too, that you end up bidding on lots of items because it's like, hey, if I'm driving down or I don't want to drive down there for 2 items, I might as well drive down for 102 items. So it'll be interesting. It's a whole different way of doing things and a whole different philosophy and a whole different set of things that you need to know to win. So should be really interesting on that. Oh, another buy that I ended up getting. This was at an online auction, and I'd already won some other things there, so shipping was essentially free on it. They had a small lot of currency, four pieces of currency in there. And it had a piece from Egypt, a piece from, I don't know, Indonesia, a piece from wherever, India, I believe. And for the 4 pieces, I ended up paying $7. But the main reason I paid for the piece or won the piece was it had a piece from Canada. And it was a $10 Canadian bill. So basically, at the time that I bid, that was worth $8.10 because it's still a legitimate bill that I could go up to Canada and spend. So basically, I bid and paid $7 for an $8 American bill, essentially. To anyone out there, I'm willing to pay you $7 for $8 cash any and every day of the week until you run out of $8 bills that you want to sell me. So that was just one. And that's one of those things that I pointed out to random neighborhood kid, that it's just keep your eyes open. You can find things like that. I know I was at an auction a number of years ago and I won. And I don't know why they had done this, but they had taken some change and they had put it in the little coin holders. Well, I ended up winning $2.40 worth of coins for $2 plus my 10% buyer premium. So I paid $2.20 for $2.40. Again, I will do that until they get sick of selling it to me. So every once in a while, you can find things like that.
Yep. Don said, I've never actually been to a live auction. I tend to bet on way too many things on the online ones anyway, though, and end up winning 2 out of 3.
Wow. So you do a lot better than me. But my philosophy on those, and maybe I'll end up doing a show about it. But my philosophy on those is, well, it's different, actually. It's different on eBay versus live auctions. But I tend to just throw a bid on the stuff that I'm interested in. And again, with the sheet music, I end up winning it. But then I come back a day or two before the end and I bid hot and heavy on the stuff that I really want. And the nice thing is you do get notifications during the week that, oh, you've been outbid on this, you've been outbid on that. So that's kind of nice. But again, most of the stuff I don't need, like the sheet music, for an example. That was just stupid easy money as far as that goes. I mean, I'll make money on it. I don't really want it, but it's free money essentially.
Yep. Amen to Jesus Retailer says, I'm curious if you could break down what you typically do for a preview and they could do a live preview. Wouldn't it be a bad idea for them to have that idea put into their ear?
The way that this local one does, they put all of their items up. Oh, geez, I think it runs for 2 weeks. So they put all of their items up. Let's just say they put it up July 1st and it's going to be done on July 15th. They put it up July 1st. And then they have preview like July 12th and 13th or July, right near the end, they do have a day or 2 days of live preview. So the stuff is up in advance and then they do have a preview and then it closes a couple of days afterwards. So that's the way that they end up doing it. And again, it's only a mile away. I could go to it if I wanted to, but I ended up winning 3 lots and I'm very happy with what I won. One of the advantages is I've dealt with this auction house before as well. So I know who they are as far as what they offer. I probably wouldn't be so cavalier in bidding if it were an auction house I'd never dealt with before. But these people are straight shooters on their things, and they just want to move the stuff out because they do estate clean outs and that kind of stuff. And that was one interesting thing as well, talking to the gentleman from the auction house. He said a lot of times the things that he's selling are coming straight from the estates. And this is actually really, really sad. The money from the estate is just going right to the nursing home. So nobody really cares how much the stuff goes for. It's just a matter of law that they've got to sell the stuff off. Whether it goes for $100 or $1,000 for an item doesn't really make any difference, because how expensive nursing home are to start with. But they're required fiduciary duty to sell it at the highest price they can get, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of that, they just don't really care about that much. And that's why they kind of wholesale the stuff out at the auction the way that they do it. They lot 5 boxes together, et cetera, because the money's just going to nursing homes. And I found that really sad, actually. And I was unaware that was going on. So it was actually good talking to the gentleman for a while.
Yep. Don said, I don't need anything. I've been avoiding looking at them recently because I'm out of space.
You could always buy a bigger house. They do sell houses. Just make sure you don't get into the trap of paying for storage. That just you end up paying, as you can tell when you go to these storage auctions, people end up paying, thousands of dollars over the years to, they pay $5,000 over the years to store $1,000 worth of stuff. I've seen that happen far too often.
Man, live auctions were a wake-up call for me. Hammer price markup, VAT, and then international shipping. Rare piece of art history with great provenance, but it was a real test of my marriage.
Okay, yeah. The biggest surprise we get over here, I don't pay the sales tax because I'm buying things for resale. So we don't pay the sales tax locally. I'm on file with the auction house. And then as far as there is the buyer's premium, which a lot of people forget about, and people do get upset over that, the 10% buyer's premium. That tends to be what they charge over here. A lot of places now will charge 10%, and then they'll charge 12% or maybe a little bit higher than that if you're using a credit card. So it's a 10% cash or check, and then 12 or 13% if you're using a credit card. So you do have to keep that in mind when you're at a live auction. But of course, if you're doing it online, then you got to worry about the shipping. I know a lot of times I've done in the videos about things that I purchase at Heritage. The thing that kills you at Heritage is you got the shipping. You've also got the buyer's premium, which I don't even remember what percentage it is. But the part that kills you is it's a minimum $19. Minimum $19. And thus I've bought something before for $1 and it cost me $20 because of the $19 buyer premium. And if you're not aware of that, you're going, oh, I'm only bidding $1. No, wait, why is it $20? So that kind of gets real expensive real fast if you're not paying attention. So that's my dealing and that sort of thing on the online auctions. So you actually have some exciting news about eBay.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I started a eBay called Random Neighborhood Kid. And I'm planning to list toys, old video game stuff.
Newer toys, loose toys.
Any toys. Valuable toys.
So what have you noticed going out? I know you've gone out with me a couple of times to church sales and a couple of garage sales. So what have you noticed about going out and looking for things?
It's hard to look for stuff, especially now starting off, because I don't know what I want to look for or what to look for. So I'm just picking up stuff that might be good and then learning about it later.
So what have we been doing so far as picking stuff up?
We've been looking for sealed stuff, loose stuff, older stuff, and then we just take it home and then look it up on eBay.
Yeah. And we've got a box down in the basement that we're starting to put some of the loose stuff into, figuring we can save it up and put it in lots. And like in the bottom of a couple of the boxes there were a couple of Lego figures, all that kind of thing. So you can end up finding just a little miscellaneous stuff stuck in there that you just save up, and then we're going to end up lotting stuff out. I think we had a lot of My Little Pony, if I remember right, at the one sale.
My Little Pony. We had some Bakugan stuff.
Huh?
Remember, it's the cards. You throw that thing.
I know what they are. I would tell everybody out there what Bakugan is, and tell them what the whole thing is.
I don't really know. I just know that there's like a card. It's magnetic, and then you throw a ball on it, and then it comes out because of like the magnet. I don't really know.
It opens up into like a character of some sort,
Yeah,
right?
I don't. I have no idea.
Now, will the given character work on any card or only on the card that he's associated with?
It's a magnet, so
So
probably
it's
any
anything.
card.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
I don't know either.
You're the
I
expert
don't.
on Bakugan.
That's why I have to do research because I don't know.
You're the expert on Bakugan now. So yeah, so it's a lot of fun though looking for those. And to Random Neighborhoods Kids credit, he's been asking every week, are there garage sales? Is there a church sale? And that sort of thing. Unfortunately, you've been getting disappointed because around here, basically garage sales run Friday and Saturday and occasionally a Sunday. But your work schedule is such that like you had like a Tuesday off. And there's nothing.
Yeah.
They don't run garage sales up here on Tuesdays.
That's why I'm quitting. Right? Yeah.
Not yet.
Once I get my license, I'm quitting and I'm driving around
And
looking for garage sales.
how about you work on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays when there aren't any garage sales?
Okay, yeah. Tell that to my boss. Yeah, just avoid the weekends, the most busiest time. Yep. Don said, that's how I learn most things too. I buy it and look it up later. I've paid to learn quite a few times, but I'm not usually paying much at a time.
Yeah. And so what do you think about the prices you can pay at a garage sale or a church sale?
Pretty cheap. Like usually the price on the sticker is like what, $2 or $3, and you like if you buy a lot of it, you could just say like, say you get 10 things, you say like $5 for everything or $3 for everything.
Yep. And we went to the one sale where they were doing a fundraiser to send, I guess, the people down to
Dominican Republic. Yeah.
Yep. And they literally had name your price. They didn't care. And so we ended up picking up 10 items and I gave them $10 for it, which was a fair price because we took some smaller items, some bigger items and all that. Then it was a fair price on the stuff. And I said, well, would $10 be good? And they're like, oh, it's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So that was good. That kind of stuff. And that's where we got the My Little Pony and all that kind of stuff as well. They just want the stuff gone because and they want the money because it's going to a good cause.
Right. The Rebel Reseller says, don't neglect the stuffed animals, which is, I did it one time and then I don't know, what did I get? Was it a sock monkey
yep.
and like an old Snoopy?
Yep.
And was it the sock monkey? I don't think that was that good.
No,
right.
No, it wasn't.
But we learned that it's not good. Well, that specific brand wasn't good. Yeah. And then the Snoopy, you did the research on that one.
Well, I didn't do any research on it. I just put it downstairs because you're not going to sell one Snoopy by itself at this point.
Right.
And then we did also pick up, and I don't know, and you would know the name of this Rebel Reseller. She actually has a channel. Definitely do check it out if you haven't. Knows a lot about plush. And what was that one thing we picked up with that really ugly monster on it? Do you remember?
It was weird.
It had like a button for one eye.
Yeah, it had like human-looking teeth on it.
Oh, yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, it was gross, yeah.
And we looked it up online, and it's like a $15 to $20 item, and I think we paid, $1 for it or something like that.
Yeah.
So we haven't listed that yet, but that's sitting down there as well because we want to list a few things. And one piece of advice that I gave Random Neighborhood Kid was sell some cheap stuff first or buy a few things, get some positives because you don't want to say you do score something or other. You don't want to go on and put on a $200 item when you have zero positives because people aren't going to buy it from you. Or if they do, they're going to give you $120 because of what they perceive as risk. So you've got to get up to 10, 12, 15 positives before you really start listing anything any good.
Yep. Anthony said, the best part of this game is learning about the forgotten history. Have you seen color forms yet? I have not.
Do you know what color forms are?
No.
I actually, if you check out Papergoy, I've actually got a color form set up. And I don't remember a lot about it off the top of my head, but definitely do check Papergoy out and search on color forms. It's a really, really rare set that I end up picking up at a flea market, and I can't find any comps on it anywhere out there. And it's almost complete on it. Color forms have the, I don't know if they're vinyl or what they are, but they're basically little stickers that you can remove time and time again, and they've got various characters on them, and then you stick them on a play scene. So you can like stick Scooby-Doo over here and Velma over here, and then you take them off and then you put them on again time after time after time. So they're kind of neat little item.
Like, do you collect like each character, or?
Well,
Or it comes with all the characters?
It'll come with all the characters, but then you collect all the different sets. You know, so there might be 3 different Scooby-Doo sets throughout the years, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. Amen. Does Jesus Rizar said, well, you get spare time, pick a category like, say, video games, and check on Facebook Marketplace. When you go in there, check their commerce profile if there's multiple video game consoles used. Right. Oh, use their profile to come check on eBay, even though you are not buying. This is a great way to learn niche.
Oh, there you go.
That's true. I have been using Facebook Market, but not for like video game stuff. Just looking at cars.
Well, but you've also, why don't you tell them, while I read my notes, why don't you tell them your success in selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace?
I have sold a couple of things. I sold a monitor I used to have. It was a 144 hertz monitor. I sold it for, I think it was like $180. And then I also had another thing I sold. I sold a Xbox that was gifted to me. And I know it was gifted to me. I know it's kind of messed up, but
you're not going to use it, so
yeah. And basically, I was just selling the Xbox by itself, and then I wanted to. I had games too, so I told him like, give me like $10 for like 5 games, which is a steal for him, but I don't really need them.
Yeah, they were no use at all to you.
Yeah.
And then you ended up, I believe, when the one gentleman was by, was it him or was it somebody else? You ended up selling something else to as well while they were by. So you're learning that.
What was it?
It was something else. You said, oh, I also have this. And he said, oh, I'd be interested in that as well. And then you ended up selling a second piece to the gentleman when he was by.
It was a graphics card. I think I have no idea what I sold.
But you ended up selling something.
Yeah,
but
I sold something.
And that was where I think you learned a valuable lesson that day. You took a little less money than you were going to ask for it. But the gentleman was right there. You didn't have to advertise it again. You didn't have to deal with all of that marketing, having people not come by, that. And you know as well as I do that if you put it up for $50, the person that comes by is going to ask for 40 anyway.
Right.
So you had the gentleman in front of you willing to pay you 40 for it.
Right.
So that was a good deal for you because it cut down on your work, yet it put money in your pocket.
Right.
So
Anthony said, tell him PG. What is that? About the color forms. What are those?
Tell him PG. I don't know. That I don't know. Got me confused now.
What your local competition is selling is a great tell to what to look at. That's true. Like when we go to the flea market, there's the vendors there. Yeah. I like to look at what they have and what they have it priced at, so I could keep an eye out whenever I go to garage sales looking for them.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Real quick on a slightly different topic. I'm not sure what is going on out there. I've got some ideas, but I'm not really sure what is going on out there. First class postage is going up for stamps. So if you're going to mail a letter, and I'm old school, you probably will never mail a check out in your life.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I do. I still mail checks out regularly. So I noticed they were giving 5% eBay bucks, and I can buy the forever stamps. So I went online to look for forever stamps. And in the past, I've purchased, a roll of 100 forever stamps for $45, something or other like that. So about 45 cents a stamp. And I think the postage is going to be 55 cents, something or other like that. So you're getting a little bit of a discount buying the forever stamps. And, if the postage goes up, you can still use the stamps. I went online on eBay searching for forever stamps. Coils of 100 forever stamps are selling for $7. $7. That's 7 cents a stamp. And it's not just one person that's selling them. It's across the board. There are a lot of people selling them. And now they may all be linked accounts or something like that. I'm not really sure. I ended up finding one gentleman on there that was asking like $8 for a roll. And I looked at his positives, and he was getting positive feedback from having sold the forever stamps. So I felt confident that what I was going to get would actually work. I don't know where the people are getting the forever stamps at. I don't know how they're selling them for $7 for a roll of 100 that if I went to the post office would cost $55. No idea whatsoever how they're doing it. I'm just wondering whether they're not some kind of a knockoff stamp or something or other like that, and all of a sudden my checks won't be getting to the vendors. I really don't know. but I'd never seen that before. So I wanted to call that out to everybody and see if anybody else had any idea what's going on with those, because that's incredibly cheap on that. And again, I'm willing to pay $45 on a 55 because that seems reasonable and logical. Paying $7 on a $55 for something that never goes bad, like a stamp, I don't know what's going on. No idea whatsoever.
We have 1987 Ventures. Hello there. This is a great topic. I wish I had started selling on eBay when I was a teenager. And by the way, color forms were my favorite when I was little.
Now you got to look into color forms.
I guess I have to.
One thing you do need to know before you sell color forms, though, is a lot of times they are incomplete because they've got so many small pieces. And, you're sitting there, you use them a few times. They don't get so sticky anymore when you're putting them up. Something falls, it ends up in mom's vacuum cleaner, and all of a sudden you have an incomplete set.
Right.
You can sell them, but you just need to know whether it's complete or not.
Yep. A Minute Jesus Reseller said, believe I'd be saying, great job, Dave. Coolest thing you have done, made an impact. Good job on the sales.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank him. He's doing a good job on that as well. I mean, he's the one I as he will attest, I know nothing whatsoever about Facebook Marketplace. Nothing. Nothing at all. This is the exact reason I do a paper going, PG, if you're interested, I also have one up on the channel. It works very well when it's genuine. Oh, well, thank you very much. I was wondering, PG.
PG.
Yeah, we got to. You could go PG-13 now, right?
Yeah.
You're old enough for that.
So. Yeah.
Why don't you, we're going to do a quick early rambling story of the week. Put you on the spot here.
It's too early.
You can tell, talking about movies and PG and PG-13, you had a little bit of fun at the movies a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Oh, no.
Oh, you're on the spot. I've let it up to you. Why don't you tell the audience what you ended up doing? Very, very bad.
Okay, so basically I was with 4 of my friends, and we wanted to watch an R-rated movie at the movies. And at the time, I was 16, right? And this dude, he was like, you have to be 17. We tried everything. I tried to give him like a couple bucks, let me in.
I didn't know this. Okay.
So basically, we left. We were like, we'll just go later. Maybe he won't be working that shift anymore. So we went bowling. And then we went bowling. We came back. The dude was still there. So I'm like, okay, we need to come up with a plan, right? So basically it was me and my other friend. We were both under 17. And 2 of my other friends, they were 17. So they went first and they bought the R-rated movies. And me and my friend went after, and we bought another PG-13 movie that was scheduled at the same time. And basically what we did is we went to the respective theater, right? And then we waited like 5 minutes there, and then we ran to their theater with the R-rated movie in it. And then I'm not even gonna lie, the movie was terrible. The R-rated movie was terrible. Like the CGI didn't even look real. It wasn't even worth it. But then the guy, he came down. He asked for our tickets. It was the same guy that was working the desk, and he was like, "I know you guys didn't buy this movie," and then he just kicked us out. And he didn't even let me buy dibs on my way out.
Sorry to hear that.
Messed up.
That is messed up.
Yeah,
that is messed up.
It was the movie. It wasn't even good. I rather would have watched the
PG-13, the one you bought the tickets to.
Yeah.
One other quick thing before we get into the subtopic and the main topic. I saw on e-commerce bites that Etsy, and I'm not sure who they were buying, but they were buying some competitor in Latin America. And this is just a little food for thought out there, and you can take this however you want, think about it however you want. But I find it interesting that Etsy's buying this Latin American competitor, and I know they bought somebody else a couple of weeks back. They were buying somebody else. And meanwhile, eBay seems to be doing nothing but selling. They're selling off this piece. I saw they were selling like 80% of their Korean eBay Korea. They were selling a huge percentage of that. And eBay seems to be getting out of markets, and Etsy seems to be spending a lot of money getting into markets. So not sure. You can take that however you want. You can read that however you want. But I found that really, really interesting how one company wants to expand into all these different areas, and then the other company wants to get out of everything. So not sure what that all means.
Yep. Anthony said, great story. Yep. It was good, but the movie wasn't. It had like a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't even know that I didn't even know it can go that low. Don said, color forms just remind me of the symptoms. I said chloroform. Those are color form.
Oh, I'm not even going to ask what episode that was in. That's funny. The subtopic here, and this is where I do keep track of my sales by the day. And again, as I said, I'm back to 2002, 2003, something or other like that. But it's not exactly my sales by the day. I take out any sales that I might have had at auction, and I back out any postage I may have charged. My thinking is because I want to have it consistent as I can have it. And if I went and I listed 100 items at auction that end on a Friday, then that's going to skew the totals. And if I do that regularly, well, then Fridays look like a great day because, say, 5 of those items sell every single Friday. So in order to take that out and kind of smooth the results a little more, and same thing, I could sit there and I could sell 3 really big book lots that have a lot of postage on them because they're big, heavy book lots. Well, that isn't actually the product that I'm selling. So I back out the postage. And when I do offer free postage, I back off what I would have charged on the postage. And I've been doing it that way since 2002 or 2003. And I have noticed that without a doubt, the best day overall, all time, is Sunday. No doubts whatsoever. Year after year, Sunday is one of the top selling days, if not the top selling day. So, and I've got, as I said, I've got 17, 18 years worth of data to back that up, that Sunday is the day when I do sell the most stuff. The other days do change year in, year out. This year, right now, Saturdays are the best day thus far. Saturdays are really, really good. Now, Sundays aren't bad by any means, but Saturdays this year are the best. But we'll see by the end of the year if that holds up. But hopefully that does help you a little bit. Keep track of your records as well of what sells. I tend to sell, as everybody knows, I tend to sell paper items, ephemera, that sort of thing, magazines. So selling that may be a little bit different than what you're selling. You may find a different day of the week works better for you. But as far as the general paper stuff goes, Sundays do tend to be the best historically. And this year, though, Saturdays are doing really, really well. So hopefully that'll help you a little bit. You can also, because I also keep track of it day by day, but also the way I have it set up on the spreadsheet is week by week. And I find that helps me out a lot as well, because I can kind of take a look at the overall trends year after year. And I can say, okay, the next week is going to be slow. Historically, the week of this is slow. And then I kind of know when to expect that. And historically, the same times of year tend to be slow year after year after year. But I know a lot of people end up panicking when the sales are a little bit slow. And then they start asking around, are your sales slow? Mine are slow. Are yours slow? Is everything slow? That's what everybody wants to know. Well, I can actually do that, but also take a look at my historic. Now, if historically it's a week where sales are always really, really good and I'm not having good sales, okay, something might be going on. Could be something or other with me. But if I know that year after year it's a slow week, then when I have slow sales, it doesn't bother me. I say, yeah, it's always slow this time of year.
Yep. Linda said, I am an auctioneer and a lot of my friends are doing online, but I have not yet any confused, but I love doing live sales.
Oh, live sales are unbelievable. And at some point I want to do a video once they start opening back up about various strategies, because there are a lot of strategies. And if you're an auctioneer, you've seen them all. The dirty pool that people play, stand right behind somebody that's bidding and hold your card up, and then the person thinks that they're the high bidder, but you're actually hiding behind them. And I don't do that one, but I've seen that one done a whole bunch of times, and that's a dirty pool one that people will sit there and do. But I'm sure you've seen all of them, or the person that, wait, what do you mean it's choice, or what do you mean it's ×2? I thought I was, and of course, they don't ask during it, they bid on it, and then once they find that out, then they want you to put the thing back up for auction and all that kind of thing, and or a bid is missed. Auctions are a lot of fun, a lot of strategy involved in them.
Yep. Chem said Etsy bought Depop for $1.62 billion.
That's with the B. That's billion with the B. I'm gonna have to buy a lot of $8 worth of currency for $7 before I can afford to buy Depop.
That's what they do the clothes on, right?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, because I saw like a couple of ads on there on Snapchat, and I think they do like vintage clothes. I think people make like their own clothes on there, or they change clothes. I don't really know.
Etsy's a lot of the handcrafts, so that sounds like it fits right into what Etsy does. Then.
It said very smart of Etsy. Hopefully they put it to good use.
Yep.
Etsy is also buying Elo 7 for $217 million.
Yep, that must be the one that I read because it hits at a Latin American one, so it must be that one. So yeah, they're spending a lot of money, and meanwhile eBay is selling everything but the kitchen sink. Fortunately, they're not selling enough of my stuff, but what can I say?
A lot of people are worried about fee increases on Depop with Etsy acquiring them.
I will say that the Etsy charging the 20 cents up front for 4 months is a bit of a shell shock as far as the costs go. That's again, it only works out to 5 cents a month, but when you build all up front, it starts adding up pretty quickly.
Paperboy, you could sell a template of your spreadsheet for tracking on Etsy. I had someone from Etsy build mine.
Oh, really? Huh. Never even thought about doing any of that stuff. Yeah, there's so many things out there that I'd never even thought about. Probably all that data is probably worth some money too. All right, we're gonna head on into the main topic right now. So you need me to buy things from you from time to time, or you want me to buy things from time to time. Where do you always search at first and send me the links from?
Well, usually, recently I'm doing Amazon, buying stuff from Amazon because I use the affiliate link. But normally I just go on Google and I search up what I want, and then I just click on the shopping tab, and then I just look for the cheapest one.
Oh, really? Okay, because all the time when you send me the links, they're always Amazon links.
Yeah, I don't know.
Though they always are. Yeah. They always are Amazon links.
Because Amazon is usually the cheapest, maybe.
Maybe then. If that's what you're doing, that's kind of interesting because I did not know that was the way that you were doing it. Because what do I always yell at you?
Find it on eBay.
Because I buy on eBay.
I don't trust eBay.
See, and I don't like Amazon, so
I don't know.
See, and I like eBay better because I know who I'm buying from. I can take a look at their positives. I know how to, and maybe it's just I can read eBay. I can read their positives. I can understand what it is that I'm buying and who I'm buying it from. Whereas you probably, are you thinking?
I feel like Amazon is more secure than eBay, almost. Is that true?
More secure in what way?
Like you're not going to buy it and then nothing shows up.
Oh, well, that wouldn't happen on eBay either. There are protections.
Or someone would just ship you a brick. Yeah.
Well, my question is, do you think you're buying from Amazon, or do you realize you might be buying from a third party?
Well, is it just buying from Amazon, like the Amazon basic stuff, or a third party is just someone who lists on there, or how does that work?
Amazon sells some of the stuff themselves. They also ship some of the stuff out themselves, fulfillment by Amazon. So I could take a pallet full of stuff and send it into Amazon, and then I'm eligible for the buy box and all that kind of thing. It's eligible for the Prime shipping, et cetera, and then Amazon does the shipping on it. Or it could be fulfillment by merchant, which you see me filling orders all the time and sending them out from Amazon. And then you're actually buying from me, who's on the Amazon platform. So I'm just kind of wondering if you are thinking that you're buying it from Amazon, or if you realize that you might be buying it from me.
Yeah, well, I know there's people on Amazon that sell stuff. But
so you just feel that Amazon's protections are better.
Yeah. Okay. And it's just like it's a bigger name, you know. I don't know.
Okay. Oh no, there's no wrong answer. Yeah. That's kind of what we're here for, is to get into Generation Z, Gen Z, which is what you're part of.
And Amazon I feel like Amazon does better marketing with like Amazon Prime and stuff. And I feel like eBay doesn't really put themselves out there.
Now, how about your friends?
My friends?
Do any of your friends even know or care about eBay?
Not really. I mean, it's all Amazon, really.
Okay.
But like, I don't know.
Well, no, I'm asking you because I want to know if you're, if any of your friends ever said, "Oh, we should look on eBay. We should look on eBay."
No. They're all like, look on Amazon, and then my friends will buy something, and then they'll show me like when something wants to come in, and it'll be on Amazon. So yeah.
Could the shipping side of it be part of it too? That if you order on Amazon, you have the expectation it's going to come in faster.
Well, doesn't it come in faster with Amazon Prime or no?
Oh yeah, it definitely does with Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
But we're not members of Amazon Prime.
Oh,
so we're not.
They might be.
Right.
I don't know.
But for you yourself, do you feel that it's going to come in faster on Amazon Prime than it would on eBay?
I probably no difference.
Okay.
But I feel like Amazon's mobile app is more like user friendly. I feel like too.
Okay.
Just like because I have both the apps on my phone, I just like Amazon's visuals better.
Now, when you were, let's say that I told you we're off the air right now, and I tell you, hey, we got to get this for mom. Find it online. Are you going to search on your phone or on the computer, or half and half?
I mean, like I'll start doing research on the computer, but like if I have nothing else to do and I'm just like if I'm like upstairs on my bed, I don't have my computer, I'll just look on my phone.
So the phone's more convenient for you. So the mobile app is important just because of the convenience factor.
Yeah, but it's easier to do research on the computer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask another question because I've never used the Amazon app at all. Does it look the same on the phone versus the computer?
No.
Okay.
No way. Not most big companies have different app or mobile views than desktop views. Because you know how weird it would look on a phone if you just saw what you saw on the desktop? It'd be like all smushed.
Okay. Well, but does it impart the same basic information?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just laid out differently.
Okay. But you find it more convenient for the phone because you can use it more places essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, and that's if you want to read, people are making some comments. Somebody may be asking you some questions as well, and I'm going to check to see what else I wanted to ask about real quick. Over.
Santiago said many people sell the same item on both eBay and Amazon. They just sell them slightly more pricey on Amazon depending on the item. Was that like because of fees or something?
Fees, or because you feel you can get a little more money on Amazon. On that. Now, I know Amazon got in trouble because they were requiring you, and I remember when I first signed up for Amazon back in, 2002, something rather like that, you were not allowed, and they've gotten into some trouble with I believe it was Europe for the Antitrust. You were not allowed to sell items for less money on any site if you had it listed on Amazon. So they were doing that to people.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, they ended up, and how are they possibly going to prove that as well? I mean, you can with new stock, but if I've got an X-Men number 222 for sale on eBay and Amazon, as long as I could always argue they're different copies. They would be different copies because I don't list on both sites same item. But, this one's VG, this one's good. Yes, it is a different price because it's a different item. It may be the same general item, but it's a different item.
Jim said 55% of all of the items on eBay as of this year is being sent to you by Amazon.
Amazon.
That's what I said. Did I say? Yeah. Is being sent to you by Amazon, but it's inventory from resellers like us. So you send it to Amazon warehouse.
Yep. You pay to ship it there. You pay to have it stored there. And I've never done that. But I've read some of the margins, and I mean, people do very, very well on it. But if you're not used to it, I think you get a sticker shock as to how little money you end up getting on some of the stuff. But that's what a lot of people, I know Pure Hustle Podcast, friend of the channel, I know they run out and they do the retail arbitrage, and they run out to Walmart, whatever, and buy stuff, and then they ship it off to Amazon to sell it.
They like scan it in the store and look at the price.
Yep. A lot of people end up doing that kind of stuff.
Anthony said, funny, I start on phone, but will look at computer for details like publisher dates or damage with Photoshop. Yeah.
See, and
that's with eBay though. Like whenever you want to like look at, it's probably easier to look at like stuff that the quality matters. But if it's like something on Amazon, it'll be like you don't really know what you're getting on Amazon, right?
If it's not a collector's item,
right.
Because basically most of the stuff that you're buying off Amazon are like a mouse pad,
right? Like stuff that's like there's like thousands of them made, and it's like a company that makes them.
Yep. So that's kind of interesting, and it's funny just even how the generations differ, because I basically don't use the phone to do any research, and in fact I hate using the phone to do research, because when I go on, I mean I will when I'm out in public, but when I go on it and I type something or other into the phone to search on eBay, it suddenly opens up the app, and then I can't figure out how to find completed on it because I'm not logged in, because
you have an Android.
Yeah, I do have an Android. Yeah. But that's not the reason why. Even if I had an iPhone.
My phone doesn't have those problems.
No. I wouldn't be logged in because I'm worried about potentially losing my phone, and I don't want to lose my phone. And all of a sudden, you're logged into my eBay account on the phone that you then stole from me.
Okay, well, iPhone has Find My iPhone, so I wouldn't lose it.
Okay, until somebody or other takes it from you.
Chase them down.
Okay, yeah, good.
Don said, I did FBA for a short period of time, and it was not worth it for me at all.
Yeah, and I've never tried it. And one of the things that scares me off is, and I know they've worked all these kinks out, but I know years ago, I believe it was the state of California, came back after some sellers retroactively for FBA, and were saying that the sellers were supposed to have been collecting the sales tax. And of course, that's insane because the sellers just ship it off and they don't know what warehouse stuff is going to end up in. But the state of California went back multiple years on these sellers, and we were talking hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially some of these sellers were on the hook for, and had no idea whatsoever. And I don't know how that ended up working out. And now with the marketplace provider rules and all that sort of thing, that's not a problem anymore. But I still read these things and remember them, and I get scared about various things. So
Aaron said the Terapeak app used to be great.
Yeah, I know you can do that on eBay still, but again, you have to be logged in. Yeah, I actually did use the Terapeak on there a couple of times. Logged in, used it, and then immediately logged back out because again, I'm just so frightened of losing my phone. I just don't. I've got very, very few things logged in on the phone. But again, I come from a different generation than you do. Yeah. I come from the generation where you're completely afraid of people stealing all this stuff.
I have my credit card on my phone. I have everything. I have Apple Pay. Just pay with my phone.
Yep, I don't have any of that. I still write checks out and still carry cash.
Don said sell a $20 book and get like $8.
Yeah, that's and that's what the fulfillment will end up getting you.
Oh, that's what FBA stands for.
Yeah, fulfillment by Amazon. Yep. So
Don said, and with Amazon, you end up being gated on so many things, even certain books, and they are adding more things all the time that you'd be gated on.
Oh, definitely. I've seen that problem as well. I guess my question to you, I've got another question I've written down. What do you think, or where do you think the next generation of sellers is going to come from?
What do you mean?
I'm older. You've seen the demographics of who watches our channel. They tend to be a little bit older. We're not popping with the Twitch crowd right now. They're just not interested in what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, so who's going to be in? And you've gone to the flea markets with me.
Yeah.
How many of the dealers that you see set up there are young and vibrant?
None.
Well, there might be one or two.
Maybe get some guy selling like comics or something.
There may be a couple, but a lot of them, especially when we go down to when we went to Madison Bachville, underneath the tents and all that, those were all older dealers.
They're like 50, maybe like 50, late 50s probably.
Yeah,
60s.
Let's put the late in there, yeah, because I'm in my 50s.
Late 50s,
I'm still young and vibrant. But yeah, they're 60, 65 years old. Who's going to take their places at these shows? Who's going to take their places on eBay when they no longer sell on eBay?
Their grandkids.
But will they? Will they be interested?
Maybe. Well, I feel like most kids nowadays they're more involved in like the stock market and stuff because I don't know. You know TikTok, right?
I have heard of TikTok. Yeah.
At one point, my whole page was just stock market stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of like stuff out there with like the stock market. I feel like it's popular among our generation, but I see a lot of things about drop shipping too. And I don't even know what else, but I don't see a lot of like baseball cards, Pokemon cards. There's a lot of that too, but
so now
not stuff that you do, like old paper stuff.
Well, let me ask this. Okay, on the stuff that you see on the TikTok and whatnot with the Pokemon cards, how are they buying and selling them? Are they selling them right on TikTok or what are they?
No. They're doing like opening pack content, not like selling. Like no.
Okay, so they're doing the box breaks and all that kind of thing. Yep. Okay, so I guess my advice to you is, do you know what I'm gonna go a little different route on this. Do you know what a player piano is?
No.
Okay, did you ever go to Chuck E. Cheese?
One time, but
you know how they've got that fake character or the character that's like this in front of the piano and the piano plays music.
Yeah.
That's a player piano. It's got a paper, for lack of a better word to put it, with a bunch of grooves in it, and that runs through. And as it runs through, it tells the piano which notes to hit. That's a player piano. There actually is, and it's up in Buffalo, there actually is one company in the world that still manufactures player piano rolls. They call those rolls. There's one company that still manufactures them. You can make a living in a dying industry like that. They're making a living selling player piano rolls, something that your generation doesn't even know what a player piano is.
Yeah.
So my advice to you would be get a day job, which you're planning on doing. Do the toys and things like that on the side. You also, just from being around the stuff that I've been picking up, you also have some kind of knowledge of magazines, books, paper, that kind of things. You have some kind of a knowledge. You at least have what I call stupid knowledge. Nothing against you, nothing against me. I have stupid knowledge when it comes to lots of things. And that's essentially where I was buying an $8 piece of currency for $7. Duh, of course. I'm out at a sale and I don't know the first thing about toys, but somebody's got a big locker full of old G.I. Joe toys and they say, oh, give me $10 for it. I don't know G.I. Joe toys. I know that a locker full of things from the 1960s is worth well more than $10. You've got that kind of knowledge about paper, and you do pay attention, and you do carry the stuff, and you do ask me a lot of questions about it. My advice to you and to anybody out there watching this who have kids or grandkids that are of Generation Z, I think capital is going to be king. And by that, I mean, save up your pennies. Start to learn how to sell now, like you're going to be doing. You're a random neighborhood kid. You're on there. You're going to be selling some toys. Save up your money, because at some point, the older generation is going to want to sell out, but you're going to have the cash to be able to buy us out. And you can do fairly well for yourself just learning about it now, because everybody, we used to call it, in my generation, we called it moonlighting. Do you know what that is?
No.
You guys call it a side hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we used to moonlight. You used to do a second job after hours. You guys all have side hustles, whether it's, you're working your day job and you're driving for Uber, whether it's you're working your day job, you're doing this, you're doing that. Whatever you happen to be doing, it's your side hustle. You can definitely make your side hustle be selling online, and you have the knowledge and the ability, but the real advantage of that is you won't have any risk because you've got the day job money coming in.
That's true. And
then it's almost your play money that you can use to invest. But while you're investing into the business, you're learning, and you're learning more and more. And then when it comes time for me to sell out or these other people to sell out, you can end up purchasing their inventory for pennies on a dollar, really, because nobody else is going to end up wanting it. Yeah. But there'll still be people wanting to buy the stuff.
So Mr. Magazine does, right?
He buys stuff, yeah. Pennies on a dollar, yeah.
People, when they sell out, go to like Pittsburgh or something. Yeah,
yep. You've gone with some of those trips as well. People just wanted to get out of the business for whatever reason. Yeah. And you were able to, or he was able to purchase people out. The one last thing I want to give you a little bit of advice is, do you know who Hopalong Cassidy is?
No.
I didn't think so. Very few people know who Hopalong Cassidy is. Too many people. Hopalong Cassidy was a famous cowboy. And I got started in going to the auctions and that stuff in about 2000, 2001, something or other like that. And the old timers would still pay high money for Roy Rogers, Hopalong Cassidy, Gabby Hayes, all these people. You have no idea who they are. They were the old cowboy stars of the 50s. And they were still paying big money for the stuff at auction because that was good stuff back in the day. Sell that stuff off, because now a lot of them are stuck holding the bag on it, that there is very, very few people buying the stuff currently because the people that grew up with it are no longer purchasing items. And you may have a great Hopalong Cassidy, but there's no demand for it to speak of. So you don't want to get stuck holding the bag. As I think I told you before, you don't want to be still standing up when the music stops. You want to make sure you have a chair. Right. So that's one of those deals that if you invest heavily in, and I'm just going to use Bakugan or Pokemon or whatever, hopefully those are going to be good forever. But 40, 50, 60 years from now, maybe they won't be. So you'll want to have gotten out of those. And my other advice to you and to anybody out there, pass this along to your kids and your grandkids. I did well selling online because when I would go to the auctions, I was buying things from the 1970s and 1980s and 1990s. Those are all things that the old-time dealers would look at and say, oh, that's all junk. I don't want to buy that stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's garbage. And they were all interested in the stuff from the 50s and 60s. I find myself now, like you were talking about Bakugan, things like that. I find myself now, I mean, I know the name Dragon Ball Z. I know all that stuff, but I don't know that stuff as far as what's good, what's not good. I'm stuck in the past at this point. My past, instead of being the 1950s, the stuff I really, really know is the 70s and 80s and 60s. That's what I really, really know. There's a tremendous opportunity for you to learn the stuff from 2000, 2010, 2020, because the dealers like me that are a little bit older now, I mean, certainly the dealers who are 70 and 80 years old are walking right by Dragon Ball Z. Right. They have no interest in it. It's got to be stupid low price for me to buy it because I don't know that stuff. And the stuff that the kids are into now, 2015, 2020, I have no idea at all. Rick and Morty, stuff like that. I guess you guys are watching. I don't know. I've heard of it. Those are going to be the things that you should specialize in because, again, the people like me aren't going to we're just going to walk right by it. And you've got a great opportunity for the 2010 through 2025 or 2030 items that you can make hay for many, many years off of stuff like that. And then hopefully if at some point you have a son or a daughter, you can teach them and they can make hay off the stuff from 2030 to 2050, the stuff that you walk by and you say, that stuff's garbage. Why does anybody want that? But you also can tap into my know-how for the stuff back into the 60s and 50s and even back into the 1800s. So you've got a tremendous opportunity ahead of you. You are a hard worker. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity and I'm willing to help you. And I know that our entire community out here is willing to help you and wants to see you do well. So that's my little pep talk for you. Go do your homework. See if we'll be out of here in a minute. We did the rambling story of the week a little bit early over there. It was the movie story. Yep. If you want to read a couple of more comments, and we'll head on out. We went a little long today, but I think it was a really, really good topic.
The Resale Studio said, my children are selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace and Instagram.
That's good.
What are they selling?
I don't. You're asking me. I'm not Resale Studio. They're selling 1880s magazines.
Flip Heidi said, demand dies with the generation that cared about it.
That's actually a really, really good way to put it. There are some things that are enduring. Do you know who Marilyn Monroe is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who Elvis Presley is?
Yeah.
Okay. So those would be enduring.
Yeah.
Those would be.
They're so popular.
Yep. Your generation knows about them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you know who
George Washington.
I was going to say Abraham Lincoln. I was just going to say, you know who those are. So you would understand why people would collect Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
But you get into some really obscure things from the early 1900s.
Like Kodak, right?
You know Kodak. Yeah, George Eastman.
Well, I feel like not many people know Kodak, right? Only in
Rochester we would.
Yeah, only in Rochester, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure the kids your age that are sitting in Washington State probably don't know what a Kodak is whatsoever. Yeah, we only know
it's kind of like almost obscure for anyone outside of this area.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah. Flip Heidi said anything K-pop or anime with when you're talking about the Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, those kind of things. Yep.
K-pop anime. Yeah, I bet I watch a little bit of anime.
Yes, and I don't know much at all about it. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know much at all about it. We're going to give you one real quick, just because you're sitting here. I'm going to do one last rambling story of the week, and then we'll head on out of here. Just because you're here to enjoy it.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because I can.
It's not funny though.
Okay, we'll let them decide whether it's funny or not. So 4th of July, back a couple of years ago, we have a town festival that we always go to. And, they've got fireworks at the end of the evening. They got a bunch of vendors set up. They've got little games for the kids, all that kind of stuff all set up, and a bunch of different food trucks and the like. And we decided we wanted to eat, right?
Yeah.
So we walked up to a food truck. And one thing about me, and you can attest to this, am I a fan of lines?
No.
No, I hate waiting in lines. So literally, if I see 15 people in line at one food truck and I see another food truck with 0, well, common sense would tell me that the one with the 15 probably has good food. That's why there's 15 people there. But I hate lines.
You just eat anything, so it doesn't matter.
I'll go to the one with 0 and be like, oh, you've got broiled cardboard? Okay, that sounds good. $3? Okay. The only way that I would do the things with the long lines is I would hand you money and tell you to stand in line because I don't want to stand in line. So we went over to the one food truck that had basically nobody at it. And they had, the typical food truck stuff, burgers and fries and all this kind of stuff. And you remember we were trying to, it was a burger, I think, a cheeseburger. It was either a cheeseburger or a ham sandwich that we were suggesting that you get because we know what it is that you like. And we said, hey, you should get this. And you said, no, I don't want that. That's got cheese. I'm going to go with the mozzarella sticks. And we still laugh about that one to this day. I hate to break this to you, buddy, but mozzarella is cheese. I don't know if you knew that. Okay.
It doesn't taste like cheese, though. It just tastes good.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I think we had a lot of fun tonight. Next week, Mr. Magazine will be back. Failed to say it. Do hit the like button. It definitely does help the channel. Had a good turnout. Had a lot of fun. Some good stories. Hopefully you enjoyed Random Neighborhood Kid, and hopefully we'll all see him doing well. We'll be giving you a weekly update on anything that he's able to find, and if he starts listing stuff, we'll definitely let you know about that. Do head on over to Primetime right after us. He's got the Thrift Battle. That's a lot of fun. We were involved in one. You can probably find it back on his channel. It was a lot of fun, certainly. We had a really good time with that. And we will see you next week. And we got a new video dropping tomorrow.
Next time I'm on, I'm going to be bigger than Mr. Magazine.
Wow. Yep. That's some pretty big words.